101.1 FM and AM 1160. And in the studio with me this morning, our county commissioners join us. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Commissioner Shireen Hess, Commissioner Robin Gorman, Commissioners Chairman Mike Keith. Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's good to have you all with us here today as we get toward the end of the year. There are certainly end-of-year things that we're used to when we're talking county commissioners. Of course, at the top of that list is budget, and I'm sure you're working hard on that, Commissioner Keith.
That is true. And actually, last Wednesday at our meeting, we actually passed a balanced budget for next year. And being able to still create all the services that were provided in the past. And as I stated at the meeting, it was a long one this year. Reason being is we actually had to work really hard with our directors and elected officials to actually, drill down and pull out the pieces and everything to actually make the numbers work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was quite the challenge, and I don't know that everything is solid yet in terms of finance. There was a deficit in terms of how much you intend to spend, how much you anticipate getting, and finding a way to fill that gap is certainly a fluid situation, let's put it. Is it not?
That it is. It's complicated to actually explain, but at the end of the day, I believe that we're going to actually be able to meet all those numbers and make it all work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And without curtailing services, we hope?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, let's talk about what we anticipate for the end of this year and what's to come next. Commissioner Gorman, you happen to be standing next to a microphone, so let's start start with
Lucky
you here
me.
this morning.
Shireen, you want to change positions?
well, Commissioner Hess could come right up to the other microphone because it's standing there as well. Ladies, let's talk about end of this year. It's been quite the fight this year, the battle against all of the various issues that Indiana County has faced. There are more issues coming ahead in the coming year, and so let's talk about what you think, reflecting on this past year, and what you're looking forward to most in the coming year.
Yeah. Thanks, Todd. I will echo Chairman Keith's remarks about the budget. It's an all-year effort. It's a continuous effort working with our directors. We're very, very happy to say that we have a balanced budget. We have an opening balance for next year that's fairly healthy. We also were able to eliminate the per capita tax, which was huge, without eliminating any services. Mm-hmm. And what a lot of people, of course, who run corporations, who, balance their checkbook every day, run their homes, they understand that it isn't just about the money. It's about the people. And with COVID, we learned new ways of technology, efficiencies, productivity. So our directors have worked with us to restructure and really, talk about the kind of personnel they need, but strategically in doing the right things going forward. So it's been a great process, but through some really difficult times. With that said, COVID still lingers, variants linger, so we are still navigating those waters every single day. Mm-hmm. We're trying to help our businesses get back on their feet. We're trying to help our existing businesses understand their needs. We're trying to actually still attract businesses to Indiana County. Why would they want to come here? Why would they want to do business here? So we are every day, with elections. That was a difficult year, again, with our local elections. But nonetheless, we continue to work on those issues as well going forward, knowing that they're not going away. And we continue to work on the ARPA funding that was issued to us in allocation. So we are working with our boroughs and townships. We're prioritizing. We're getting a letter out before the first of the year to sort of get those ducks in a row so we can hit the new year with our boards and authorities across the county that do good by us every single day, get their input, and then hold some public meetings and hopefully have you help us sort of get that out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Commissioner Hess, of course, the number one priority for the commissioners is turning on the internet at Todd's house.
It's a really good segue. I like to at this time of the year, I think we all like to do a kind of a year in review and to think about, well, we got through some challenges, but what else happened that was really good? And internet and broadband expansion was one of our success stories for Indiana County. We have a long ways to go, but we made a real dent in it in 2020 and 21. And I'm just really happy to say that that's going to continue. And I made some notes as to some of the other things that happened. Westmoreland County Community College brought huge expansion of that right in 2021. The Biodigester project in Center Township, which will help our agricultural community. Runway and hangar expansion at the Jimmy Stewart Airport. Improvements to the Windy Ridge Business and Technology Park, the 119 Business Park in Center Township, the Corporate Campus Business Park in Burrell Township, where we're constantly working on making those places ready to go. So when businesses do come to us, we're ready to go. And we have to thank our Center for Economic Operations partners. We've got our terrific planning office, the Indiana County Development Corporation, the university, IUP, the county commissioners, and the Tourist Bureau, and the Chamber of Commerce, all working together on a lot of those things. And, with the infrastructure bill, we're going to see just millions of dollars pour into Pennsylvania and Indiana County to help with infrastructure, which is so vital to us.
One of the interesting things you said there, and I think it's a good case in point, the industrial park in Center Township. When you consider what was there and how it was used previously, what needs there were for better access for any business type of entity that would come in there. Right. That groundwork isn't exciting to a whole lot of people to hear about, but if they don't do it, then those other businesses won't even consider coming here.
It's just like the scouting organizations say, be prepared. It's so important to be prepared, and that was what made our broadband expansion, as challenging as it is, we were prepared, and we've been preparing. And, it goes slowly. Everything seems to go so slowly, but it takes time. It takes, 10, 12 years sometimes for these projects to be in development till you see something actually on the ground. Yeah. So you got to give a lot of people a lot of credit for persistence and hanging in there and just having faith that it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get Commissioner Keith back in with us here this morning as we talk about what we're looking forward to in the coming year. And, traditionally when you think about what the commissioners do, you say, okay, well, what are the road projects that are going to go on? What are the industrial park and the various other infrastructure needs that will be met in this coming year? How are we going to balance this against that? What kind of services do we offer? All of those things are very, very important. And those types of issues as well as anybody. But there are things that you can't let fall by the wayside, because if they don't happen, the other stuff doesn't either.
Exactly, Todd. And that was one of the things that we've actually looked into. Coming aboard, we actually worked with the directors and everything to actually show us what their facilities were like. And, as we talk, like this, just take, for instance, emergency management, the 911 system. Mm-hmm. It seemed like it was just yesterday when that radio system was put into play, and it was a new system, it was upgrading everything. But believe it or not, it's getting to the point where updates need to happen. Systems technology has actually changed. So we've got to update that, and we got to find a way to do that. Along with that, each one of our facilities, our courthouse. Last year we went through renovations with our courthouse. The annex building, 801 with planning, it's going to need a lot of upgrades done to it too. Mm-hmm. And even our county jail. I know it's 15 years old, but there's upgrades that seriously need to be done out there. So as I would say, you've got to take care of your home first before you move on to bigger and better things. So with the county, you want to keep on doing progress, but you got to mix in the old with the bad. And you got to keep things going. Yeah.
And when you mentioned the jail, that's a perfect example. We remember how excited everyone was to close this thing that was over here across the street and to go to the new facility. And wow, we're set up now. We've got the Indiana County Jail. Now it's 15 years old. Everything changes.
That's correct. I mean, the facility is used 24/7, 365. I mean, it's constantly, it needs maintenance, and you just can't let the things fall through. We all know once your roof leaks, you got to fix it. It's not going to get any better.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. All right, so as we look forward to the new year, any of you can tackle this issue. What are some of the initiatives we're going to hear about most of all coming up in 2022?
Well, Commissioner Hess hit on it, and Commissioner Keith as well. But infrastructure you will continue to hear about, and broadband is a part of that, obviously. So those things continue. Navigating COVID, getting past COVID, and recovering from COVID, whatever the variants may come, will also be. But I was listening to Mike, and of course that's sort of the financial investment side of operations that I talk about, right? That we need to invest, we need to build, put the infrastructure in place, whether that's sewer, water, and the basic amenities for people to want to come here, right? To locate their business here and have a nice place to work. And then, so the third item I'll put on the slate, Todd, that we're going to hear a lot about the next year and ongoing is workforce. Keeping the quality, the skilled workers in place, or giving them opportunities in this county to success to other places in positions, which is great. You need that movement. Everybody needs some change. But to open those positions and fill others with qualified, skilled people that want to come here and live and work and quite frankly, raise their families, right? We know, and I hate to put it on the wonderful life, but we all live here and choose that. We talk about it all the time because we know how wonderful this place is. And we want other people to know that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting. And Shireen, you might have a final thought on this as well.
Just a shout out to, as we all appreciate our agricultural community, and infrastructure is so important to that community. We met with our Farm Bureau and heard some real concerns there. So we, they had a great year in a lot of ways in the ag community, but there's still many challenges. And we want all our citizens to know how much we appreciate our agricultural sector. We're coming up on the farm show in January, and just great things happening there. But we don't want to pay just lip service to our ag community. We're going to work hard to do the things that they need to keep on doing what they do for our country.
Yeah, absolutely. When we think about the number of people who are working so hard to maintain their family life and to stay here in Indiana County. I was talking, I think it was with Mark Hilliard from the Chamber of Commerce about this. When we think about Reggie as a threat and we could lose a whole bunch of jobs, we need to keep those people here in Indiana County, because if they leave, we're talking workforce development, and there goes a big chunk of the workforce. So that's one of the big things that we're going to hear about more and more, especially if Reggie comes to be in 2022. All right, well, Commissioners, I want to thank you so much. You've been so cooperative with me all this year, and I know that's not an easy thing to be, because I'm hard to deal with.
Actually, that's a lie. You make it very easy, Todd. We appreciate that.
Tell me I'm a liar. Jeez. Listen to that. But I do thank you so much because you've been very informative, and I think the listeners really look forward to when you come to visit with us, especially when you're in the studio like this.
It's great to be back.
Yeah. We're glad for it. We're certainly glad for it. Thank you, and best Christmas season, and Happy New Year to you all.
Same to you.
You too.
Thank you.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. Couple of seconds away from the top of the hour. Fox News coming your way at 9 o'clock, and then Josh Widdowson back in our WCCS newsroom.
Hello, this is John Lefdahl speaking on behalf of the John A. Lefdahl Funeral Home and Chapel. If you haven't heard, two of Indiana's oldest funeral homes have recently sold and are under new management. Having been serving our community for over 22 years, I know the importance of having someone you know and trust assisting you in one of the most difficult times of your life. The John A. Lefdahl Funeral Home and Chapel has all your funeral needs, consisting of traditional and non-traditional funeral service, various cremation options, monument design and sales, and dignified pet cremation. As a consumer, you have the legal right to transfer your pre-existing funeral plans. Call us at 724-463-4499 to schedule an appointment. Bring your